Hello friends, I'm Kanchan from Apumac Multiverse and you are welcome to our show. Today we have a very interesting topic to discuss and that is space colonization. When we talk about space colonization, it is an expansion of human society. A part of this, it's a common objective and of course objection for colonizing in a commodification way of the cosmos and see though there's no colonies as yet but uh, we are planning. I mean, human race is planning, and why we are not able to make any colonies so far is because there's a lot of technical and economical challenge. So we need to support the whole of humankind, the needs of humankind in the space. So it's quite a difficult task. And I think it's also impractical when on Earth only we are engaged in war. We have situations like economic inequality and, of course, temperamental equations don't gel many times. So it is becoming, I mean, it is becoming, and I think scientists think about all these parameters when we think of space colonization, because we have to pursue our dream of going out in cosmos, creating our home there, leaving Earth with a controlled economical, ecological life support system. And there we need a lot of uh, personal training and other educational skill to really go and live in our space. To discuss this more, we have Sitesh Srivastav, who has a deep interest in corporate trainings. He is also my colleague. He's associated with radio broadcasting. A part of this, he is also a very good reader when it comes to space and heavenly bodies. So, welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you?
Mangal. How are you, Kanchan? It's a great day. How have you been?
Yeah,
I
I'm
see you
fine.
in space.
Yeah, I'm fine, and I am really so excited to know your views about colonizing space. So I thought, let me think more ideas on how eventually we can go travel in the space in an aircraft, air spacecraft.
Kanchan.
Yes.
Yes, Kanchan. So, Kanchan, I remember one great statement by a famous uh, scientist, Stephen Hawking. He said that if humans do not plan to leave the planet in 100 years, they may not been a lot of predictions, lot of discussions, lot of theories and papers and facts and fiction about a human extinction. And because of that human extinction, this is being planned that humans should move out of this planet and then they should try to colonize their solar system partners. Venus is one candidate. Mars has been more better candidates, though from a perspective of similarities, Venus is closer, but there are much more tempting visions about Mars, and therefore, and Mars has been from the folklore, from mythology, and from the various world cultures. Mars has always been observed in the sky as a red dot,
Right.
and a bigger, and therefore, this discussion about escaping the planet for a better future for the human race finds its charm. And there have been more or less the government interventions, government laboratories like NASA, like from USA, and then ISRO from India, CNSA, Chinese National Space Organization, and many more, Japan Space Agency, European space agencies. recently in last decade or so, there have been private space flight companies also have come up. For example, SpaceX by Elon Musk and Virgin Galactic, and there are several others as well. So there is a great demand that is going to be generated over the decades, centuries, and beyond centuries, Kanchan, to have some kind of rovers or orbiters to actually explore the surface. Mars is easier to explore, it seems, as compared to Venus or Jupiter or Saturn. You know, it's more or less the number of hours is 24 hours, 39 minutes, 35 seconds a day, which is also called sol on the Martian lingo. And from a rotation point of view, around the sun, it is 687 days. Red soil of that planet suggests the soil had been fertile. The recent orbiters or the rovers have also shown some craters, rivers, volcanoes. So there is a lot of hope for humanity. What do you think?
Well, I think is that Mars, as you say, is one of the candidates where human can race really look up to. But what I feel is Venus is more better because we can make a cloud city on Venus, because there is a possibility of getting 21% kind of oxygen, and then we have 50% carbon dioxide. So that is a better candidate actually. So see the view when we have a cloud city on Venus and we are floating, and we are floating among these beautiful clouds, and also watching our dear Earth from there. So that will be a very, very magnificent scene, isn't it?
No wonder you said that, and that's why somebody had said women are from Venus and men are from Mars. I'm sure. So we will definitely get into a debate about Mars or Venus. And I think the space agencies across the world, the astronomers, the astronauts, and the scientific community is actually too much bent on learning which one is the best for human colonization. The importance of the human colonization is not just carrying humans from this planet to another planet. I also think that it is important to colonize it in a way which actually is the best practice, and then trying to settle down there. So we recently in this 2020, we had a UAE mission by UAE Space Agency, right, which is called HOPE. It is scheduled to reach Mars on February 2021. Mm-hmm. Then we have Tianwen 1 by China, Mars 2020 by NASA, then ExoMars program by Roscosmos and the European Space Agency. Roscosmos is the Russian. And then we have our ISRO's Mars Orbiter Mission 2. So there are two distinct stuff here. One is the orbiter, one is the rover. Now, rover is the one which actually gets to the soil, whether it is Mars or I think we have only planned only Mars rovers. Nobody has planned Venus rovers yet. So I think it is important, the amount of money, the amount of effort, time that has been spent on Mars. I think in another 10 to 30 years, Kanchan, we will live to see, I will live to see the first humans going to the Mars. Though it is a one-way ticket as of now, given the speed of the rocket or carrying the humans, but I think I would live to see the first humans going there. I would love to sign up for that as well, even if it is for a one-way trip. because that is like those people who reached the moon in 1969. They said one small step for mankind, and that is the kind of things will happen. Statements would come when we land up on Mars, and I think it is important for us to study and we need to encourage. The governments need to encourage the private space flight as well, so that not just for the fun purpose, as we also see that angle, but more from the cost of traveling to the outer space should be reduced, and it should probably get free from the government clutches that it is as of today.
Well, you vote for Mars and I vote for Venus. Why? Let me tell you. But at present, it has been established that the gravity of Mars is 0.38 times that of the Earth, and that will be insufficient to avoid the decrease of muscle mass and of course bone decalcification. And a part of this, Venus is closer to Earth, and the size is somehow similar to Earth, and it is the surface area. The gravity surface is also very near to Earth parameters what we need. So the most exploration and colonization, I think, will be more appropriate if we focus on Venus, and especially when on a cloud city, because Venus as a planet is very harsh, but above that Venus we have that kind of, we can create that kind of atmosphere for human survival.
Yes, Kanchan, and I am beyond the science, beyond the facts, beyond the maths that is around it and known already. I always keep thinking about the behavioral aspects of humans reaching either to Venus or to Mars. As we have seen in the movie Avatar and countless other movies of the science fiction, I think it would be important that we carry with us a new thought, a new society, probably a utopian society rather than a dystopian society. We should carry egalitarianism with us to the different planets when we go there. As per one of the studies that I was studying, reading some time back, the first humans, when they reach Mars, and then they start mutating or creating children on the Mars. The Mars specific humans, probably we may not even call them humans, we may call them something else. So for today, we call them humans. The humans specific, customized, specific for the Mars will only start to be seen in 60,000 years from the day the humans land on the red planet. So probably this math could differ when if humans land on Venus. My whole-hearted support for the scientific community, because what we have seen on this planet and the way the climate change is happening in last 70 or 100 recorded years, Kanchan, it's a worrying concern about the viability of the planet, the population that this planet is feeding into, and therefore it's important for us to land on. Probably moon can be used as a station, a junction to jump towards the Mars. So I believe these a lot of books have been written. Around 41 novels are based on just Mars. And very popular one, Mars Trilogy by Kim Stanley Robinson, Red Mars, Green Mars, Blue Mars. And we have seen recently some Martian movie called Martian. And so I must think that scientific community, along with the behavioral scientists, along with the psychologists, and a whole human population should participate in thinking what kind of colonization we are planning in our solar system, because that will set up a precedence for future centuries later, when we would try to go beyond our solar system, our some of the orbiters or satellites, they have already left the solar system. They are into the deep space in our galaxies, and it is very, very important. What do we carry from here, and how do we plan it there? Anyway, it will take its own shape because gravity is different, atmosphere is different, soil is different, and there are so many different factors which we don't even know as of today.
Yes, I think as you are betting for Mars settlement, and I agree that when it comes to Venus, we have some crucial point which are making delaying this colonization dream. First is that it is very hot on the surface of Venus, and second, it is 90 times the atmosphere pressure on Venus is 90 times more than Earth. So it makes difficulty in really going on the surface of Venus, though in Soviet Union has already sent Venera 5 and Venera 6 to do study, but then it got damaged even only 18 kilometers above the surface, from the surface of Venus. So these are few things which are making the research and development of any cosmos settlement. But yes, scientists are thinking of a floating city on Venus, which is uh, which is appropriate for human settlement, because the oxygen level we can maintain in that particular bed. So I look forward and I vote for Venus Sky City rather than going on Mars and starting from very scratch, taking a printer also will not help, especially in Mars, because there is scarcity of water in both the planets. Not only in Venus, but Mars also we have a lot of, there's a scarcity of water. So all these are is a hindrance in our dream, in our plans for traveling and making a settlement in the cosmos. But we are working, and I'm voting for Sky City on Venus.
Well, I can already see that you are traveling already in the outer space with your Akalmac logo, and thankfully that is still, the Earth is still to be seen in the background. So I hope you will not go too far and you will carry. But there will be a time when we would say to our friends, hey, I have an uncle living on Mars, or I have an aunt living in Venus. I'm going for a vacation on these places. And this is not a pipe dream, Kanchan. Nobody knew that this was possible 100 years back. And I'm sure that in 200 years from now, 300 years from now, this would be like, taking a plane from Delhi to Chicago. Yeah. And I wish that happens, and humans have a better prospects. They have a better, rather, let us not use the word colonization, because that has got some negative connotations on our planet. Let's say something else, probably some other word which we need to think. And therefore, it is important for us to move beyond this planet. Probably then we would be able to appreciate when we are far from our planet, Earth, then we would appreciate, as humans generally appreciate, when things are not around them or they are far from the things. And that will open up the real possibility of interplanetary travel. And once in few hundred years we are there, in interplanetary travel becomes easier, then the humans or the whoever in the Martian people or Venus people, they would then take exploration towards intergalactic travel, like we saw in the movie Interstellar.
Yes, definitely. But I also want to put forward one more crucial point, is that in case if we want to travel to outer space, we have to do a little bit training in terms of in terms of uh, matching our IQ, matching our customs situations, rather than we have to seamlessly and very accurately uh, press our differences down and come up, as we say in Hindi, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, and we have that kind of temperament to really travel, because then we will be otherwise we will be taking a war from here to galactic level, I guess. So I think this also needs a lot of training, a lot of patience, which is very, very important in case if we really want to settle down and take human race to the outer space. Uh, what are your ideas on this front?
So, as I said, Kanchan, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam is the utopian society that we all dream for. And that has been more or less an acceptable concept for the human beings to be on this planet. At the same time, there are challenges in a utopian society, and there are limits to Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam as well. And then we have some thought process of a dystopian society, which is just an antonym of the utopian society. And then it comes about the equality of human beings, which is also called egalitarianism. But again, what I think is that these are the human concepts that we have developed. We are dealing with a space which is unknown because there are so many other factors which we still don't know. I can't even claim that we know 50% of the Mars exploration today. As long as the first human beings don't set up their foot on Venus or Mars, we would not be able to say that. So whether Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam or other of what kind of societies we are going to create, we don't know. The other thing is that what kind of societies they will eventually become, we really don't know. So it is important for us. There was some mission many years back, I remember, by NASA, which they sent out to the outer space, which actually passed from our solar system and went into the out of our solar system into the galaxy, and it is carrying so many languages written on a golden plaque. Right. By multiple cultures, multiple languages are written. Probably some alien somewhere would be able to read and figure out whom from where it is coming. So we are dealing with the unknown. The way these budgets are being passed is all in the positive dreams, good dreams for the humanity, best dreams for safeguarding this planet. But we really don't know on that side. When we reach there, we will know. So I hope our wisdom prevails. Our scientific community is prepared, and the kind of news that we read today, we should read more and more. And I think our children in the schools, space exploration should become as a subject. And why this has not been as a subject in the schools from a very early age is something that baffles me.
Yes, it should be taught in schools, because if we are really planning and space is now opening up, all new scientific research are being done in this particular arena. So I think we should have a separate subject like cosmos or space, where children from a very early age should know, rather than it be a part of geography or history or civil science. So I really agree on this point, because and it is very, very essential. First of all, once you have that kind of knowledge, you should also have a life skill knowledge to really living in space. That should also be part of the curriculum, because in any way we have to live. Suppose a human race goes on in space, and they have to live in a controlled ecological life support system. Now on Earth, we are wasting, we are destroying our habitat every day, So that is also a part of learning. We have to start, especially now. In case if you are maybe after 100 years, you are seeking to have a settlement in any of these planet, anywhere in space, you have to prepare our young generation to live on Earth in a better way, and then plan and go how we have to reach in space and create a separate, maybe second living space in the space.
Correct, Kanchan. Until all this happens, let me go and have a bite of my favorite Mars chocolate.
It was so wonderful to talk to you, Sitesh. We'll discuss some other interesting topic in our next episode. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.
Land well, Kanchan. Thank you.